Hello and welcome to the Legacy Boss podcast. This is your host, Shauna Klein. I am a mom of two, a wife, coach, mindset mentor, and product business strategist. I am so thankful you're here, and we're on a mission to help product-based business owners start, grow, and scale their businesses, all while living their very best life and leave a legacy both now and in the future. Each week, we dig into business strategy, mindset alignment, and talk to guests who encourage and inspire. Over at The Legacy Boss, we pursue our lives with focus and passion. My co-host Marcy and I believe you are your biggest strength, and equipped with the right tools can soar and live the life you have always dreamed of. So let's get started. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Legacy Boss podcast. It's Shauna Klein with Marcy. We're super excited that you guys are here today with us on this new podcast. We are talking today all about how to persist and win. Being persistent. Yeah. I was persistent to get that up on the screen.
You were just so excited.
So we're talking today about persistence. And I think that Marcy and I this week definitely could probably put that in as our key thing, that we have been persistent this week and moving our own businesses forward. And we had lots of moving parts this week. Our Rise Up workshop last weekend and all the things.
Yeah, it's been crazy. And it's in those crazy times, I think, right? It's in the times when you have this great plan for how things are going to go and life goes, ha, 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 and like flips the table and everything just goes everywhere, that you really realize, do you have the persistence it takes to pick everything up, put it back on the table and keep on going? And that it was like both of us were battling with that this last week. It really was crazy.
Yeah. And you know what? I think that the more that you get into it, or at least I do. In fact, it was funny. I had a Facebook post in our product-based entrepreneur group that came out today all about thankfulness. Because when we have things that we run up against, and we have to push through, you better be pulling on some of that grateful and thankfulness, because sometimes it's just something you need to grab onto.
Right? That's when my mantra just starts flying out of my mouth of everything is happening for me and not to me. Everything is happening for me and not to me. Because it's like, you just go, what is going on? Like, what is literally happening in my life? And you're like, okay, if I can just give it away and go, all right, life's happening for me, not to me. It can kind of help get you there, right? At least in my mindset, it does. It works.
Yes. For sure. Well, we're going to jump right into this. And our first topic is stop avoiding all the things. So Marcy, I'm going to let you jump in on starting out this first part. And we will tell you that this is probably one of the biggest things that trip you up early on, but also like midway and into your business, they can still trip you up because the avoidance of things does not make them go away.
No. And I can tell you, and I don't know if this is just part of how my nature was or what the deal, because I remember even from being a young child that I would procrastinate. I would just wait to the last minute to get this done, wait to this, wait to that. And sometimes I think it was that adrenaline rush. Maybe I was like, okay, I got to get this done. And I just like busted out. Right.
Yeah.
Or I just got in the habit of doing that and it just felt what was normal. And then I remember I was on a training and it came out like a red hot poker that when you procrastinate, what you're truly doing is you're self-sabotaging, and it stuck and it hurt and it got me in a place that a light bulb went off. And I was like, my goodness gracious, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I'm self-sabotaging every time I procrastinate, because what I'm doing is I'm telling myself that goal or that promise or that commitment that I made to do X, Y, or Z, that's not good enough. That I'm giving that up, that I'm all the things, like fill in the blank of what that word is for you.
Yeah.
But that's what I was doing. And when that awareness came full circle, it really helped me to stop procrastinating, to stop all the self-sabotage I was doing.
I think that we just feel like, you and I talk about this all the time. Actually, one of our big things that we teach, I've been teaching it for years, is about eating the frog first. Like it's a thing, because I'm telling you, in my businesses, if I don't do them early on, I find, oh my gosh, it's 3:30, 5 o'clock. I'm just going to have to wait till next. And it's like a snowball. Then I have everything
Yeah.
that I didn't want to do today on top of all of the other things that I'm not excited about doing tomorrow, like those things. And then it just becomes so out of, so I have to get the things done that are the hardest earliest, because then everything else is either easier or more fun.
Yeah.
But it is getting consistently aggressive with no negotiation on this is happening. And my husband is one of those people that he's military. He was not like that. In fact, if you listen to his mom talk about the way he used to keep his room, and, high school boys or, teenagers are just not really super, they don't care. And then when he went into the military, he was just like, so now the motto of our house on Sunday morning, when everyone has to be somewhere, is hurry up and wait, meaning get all the things done, and then you have time to drink your coffee. Then you have time to sit down. Otherwise, you don't have time.
Yeah, and that really is true. And again, I'm all about those morning frogs. I even have a spot in my planner that says morning frogs. And it's like, get that done first, because when you can accomplish that task that you don't like to do, you don't want to do, but it's so needed to move that needle and move your business forward, then what I actually like to do is I kind of do a reward. And that might look like just setting a timer for 15 minutes and going outside in the garden, or just scrolling through social media, and not scrolling on purpose or with intention, but like, let me just mindlessly scroll and watch some funny TikToks. Right. Or I'll go out, and then you can sit and drink your cup of coffee or whatever is going to soothe you in the morning. And it's really kind of a little mindset reset, which is really cool. Like, hey, I just did that thing that I didn't want to. Now my day is golden. And it's really kind of a fun thing when you get in that habit. You're like, all right, let me eat that nasty frog. Now my day's awesome.
Yeah. I'm reading a book right now called Miracle Morning. And a lot of people have read the book, and it's been on one of my to-do lists for years. And it's so funny that, if you get on top of your day and you do it with intention, then it's kind of like you take the day instead of the day taking you.
Yes.
And I saw this mental picture of like a bull with a nose ring. And you know how they lead them around with that nose ring? It's kind of like the thing to get them moving. It's like, I don't want to be led around my days because like someone pulling me, because to the point that I get to that place because I've refused and I've avoided the things that I need to do. And then it's crisis time, right? You and I have that all the time, where we have people that come to us and they're like in major crisis, and they're like, no, fix it. And we're like, this is a deeper rooted issue than just fix it.
It really is. And sometimes that's what you have to do. If you find yourself, and now that you have that awareness, like I do, that light shining on, hey, you're self-sabotaging. Why? Spend some time to process through that. Spend some time to journal on it. Pick up a pen, take a piece of paper, put a timer on for 5 minutes, and write nonstop. And ask yourself, why do I self-sabotage? Why am I doing this? And you'll have things come up that now you can have more awareness to, is, ooh, do I not feel worthy to grow my business? Do I feel like if I have money, that you have a money mindset issue that says, oh, all rich people are mean and greedy. So when you start reaching that level of success, you self-sabotage. We can get deep into all of that, but look at what those roots are. You're so right on that, Shauna, that when you find that there's a root, you got to get it and yank it out in order to plant the new seed.
Yeah. For sure. And Rachel and Gomes, we had her on our podcast a couple months ago, maybe it was a month or two ago. And she's really a big, I know we love her. She's a huge proponent of setting a timer and like busting it out for like put earphones on, like no distractions for 45 minutes to an hour, and then do something. Yeah. Because she said when you focus on something, it should be income producing work, and they should be things that are going to move your business forward, and stop getting lost in the steps. So do those things that you need to do to grow your business. First, get the frog, take care of the frog.
Girl, I feel
All
like
right.
I feel like I'm repeating some of our Rise Up workshop that we just did, right?
Yeah.
So if any of the listeners want to get in on that,
Yeah, for
we've got
sure.
it up on our websites for sure, because that was a whole process, a whole workbook, all on everything that we just talked about.
Yeah. So focusing on our strengths. I think that we love to do this. I think just people in general, we love to focus on our strengths. We're not so good at our weaknesses. We just talked about the fact that we avoid our weaknesses like the plague. But we do need to focus on the things that we're really good at. And sometimes, if we have just a limiting belief system and we cannot push past something, maybe it's time to get to that, or to have someone come in and help us with that. But focusing on our strengths, we like that. That's like right in people's wheelhouse. Like, let's do the things we're good at, right?
Exactly. And what happens is, and we are all guilty of this, every human being on earth, although when you're, again, can shine a light and be intentional, you can get better at it. But is that comparison trap, right? You go, but she's so good at this and I am terrible at it. You know what? Stop paying attention to that. Stop comparing yourself, but don't pay attention to something that you aren't good at, because we are not good at all things. We're good at a couple things, and maybe we know a little bit about a lot, right? So pick those couple things that you're good at, pick those couple strengths and drive that home. Like make that part of your niche, make that part of your business, make that part of your expertise. And then you can learn and grow the others. And that's okay, right? We should always be in a state of learning. And that's why both of us push personal development of some type all the time, because you want to be growing. That means you're coachable. But focus on those strengths and feel good about them and stop looking at your weaknesses.
Yeah. And I think that so many people really, they think they need to be good at everything. And I'm one of those people too. Like, I want to master it all. And I've learned in my life that I know a lot of things about a lot of things, but I need to just hang up what I'm not good at, because when I don't allow someone else to come in and help me, they don't get to fulfill their purpose. Right? Their purpose and their strength is something that I'm really bad at, and I need to reach out for help. I let someone else utilize their strength and focus on their strength to come and help me, because that's their purpose, right? And so I think if we're always trying to hog up all the things and be like, I'm good at everything, then you're not really mastering anything.
No. And then just what you said, look at that the other hand. You can take your strengths and you can help somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's how we make connections. That's how we collaborate with other people. That's how we grow who we are in our businesses, is when you can focus on those things that you're really good at and then learn the others as you go through life. But then you can help people, they can help you. And that's a beautiful dance, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Marcy and I have different strengths. Like, she's the organizational queen, and she is super consistent at making sure that her life flows in a certain way, because she's had to. Like, you have 7 kids at home. Well, 6 kids at home, but 7 kids. And so you learn to adapt a lot quicker to survive. Whereas as that has not been my strength, and not that it can't be something I grow into, but we have giftings that we just fall into naturally. And so I think that we need to focus on the things that are really things that we feel are, I will put it this way. I just was listening to a talk by Robert Kiyosaki, who I adore, just his teachings, because he's very frank. But he said, we spend a lot of time trying to do our passions, and we should focus on working through on how to fulfill our purpose. And I think that's so good, because our purpose is our God-given abilities. Our passion is something we like to do that's fun. And when we step into our strength, which is our purpose, then we give other people permission to really step into their purpose, and gosh, that's so liberating. Just
Yes.
such a huge aha, like let's not just play around with what we love to do and what we think is fun, but really step into what we're supposed to be doing.
Exactly. I love
It's
that.
it's all good stuff.
It's good.
And then the next segment portion is about willpower. I think that so many people lose the willpower. It's like an engine. Ding, 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 ding,
Oh,
ding.
well, and
For
you
all
gotta
of you
feed
audio
it.
listeners who enjoyed that little sad state of affair of a car that was probably built in the 1960s, because nothing sounds like that anymore.
Hey, we get you. We feel your vibe. No, but it's like willpower. I think what happens is we all, and we're guilty of this, both Shauna and I, again, this is a human trait that's just part of what we want to do and kind of in our grain to, again, learn and grow. But we want to wish everything into existence, which just means like I'm in a daydream, I'm gonna build the vision board because it's beautiful and amazing. And I'm just going to look at it and wish that all this stuff comes true without putting in the hard work, without taking those steps forward in faith and building and growing and doing all those hard things that, again, just like you said, Sean, are part of our purpose. And our purpose isn't always so fun and fluffy like our passion will always feel so good, right?
Yeah.
Your purpose feels good too, but then there's times it's hard and it's mucky and it's yucky, right? So you have to have your willpower be strong enough that you're just like, I'm gonna get through this because I know there's more fun times ahead, but this is something that I have to do. That table is knocked over. I have to will myself to pick it all back up again instead of just cry in the corner or stay in bed today, which sometimes is something that tells me, just stay in bed, just stay in bed. I'm like, I can't, right? But you have to pull that willpower. You can't wish your life and your business into amazingness. You have to use your willpower to work it into existence.
Hey friends, we're going to step away from our podcast for just a moment to tell you about some new things happening at Legacy Boss. Have you ever wondered, how do I show up on social media authentically and consistently? There's so many people out there that are showing up and you feel like your stuff just gets lost and you don't know what to post.
We are so excited to bring you something we've been working so hard on, countless hours, blood, sweat, and tears to bring you something that we wish we had back in the day. We call it Social Creative. It's filled with done for you, but fill in the blank prompts. That way you can keep your message authentic to you. We've included hand curated images, hashtags, holidays, even ideas for your stories, reels, and TikToks.
We think you're going to love this, and you can get all of the information by going to our website at www.legacy-boss.com/social creative. We know that you're going to love this, and we cannot wait for you to join us on the inside of our private Facebook group where we do lots of coaching and tutorials. Join us today. Let's get back to the episode. And we have to take the reins of what we don't feel like. And we're not in any way saying it. We're not talking about any mental health issues here. We're not addressing that. We're talking specifically about just the non-fun parts of our business.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, I don't have willpower to do certain things. And where it's nice, where you can sub those out and you can have your assistant do this, or you can have somebody else do that. Those are all great, but the willpower is the tenacity and the breakthrough and the pushing and the perseverance and the I'm not going to stop until. Yeah. And that's the part that we all want to sit down and in the corner and just be like, I don't want to do it. Because it doesn't feel, most of the things that we have to push through, they don't feel fulfilling, or they don't feel fun or energizing. They're just like, I know when I have to push through on a willpower thing, like I have to push, it's usually a monotonous task for me. It's usually something that it's not super exciting because I don't get any big wins. I mean, it's different. If my phone dings like a cash register every time someone buys stuff, those are win days for me, right? when someone signs up for my coaching, that's a win for me. But having to, redo this on a website or consistently, take care of taxes. Those are not fun things, but they're things that are necessities in order to move forward so that you can have those big wins. Because I don't feel like you will have big wins unless you do the little things that we don't want to do.
Yeah. It's again, that slight edge, right? Great book. Man, we've been dropping names like hot
We
potatoes.
have. This has been
right?
this is a full episode of name drops and book drops and
lots of golden nuggets. Yeah. So Jeff Olson, if you have not read The Slight Edge, it's when someone asks me that just jumps into entrepreneurship, what's a good book? I tell that one the first, because you literally can apply it to absolutely everything in your life.
Yeah.
But it's those little mundane tasks done persistently, the theme of today, and consistently over time. That's what takes that curve up, where people feel like, whoa, you were an overnight success. No, I really wasn't. I worked a long time, but boom, up it went. On the reverse, if you don't do those things that aren't feel good, right? Mm-hmm. Then over time, boom, you're going to go downhill. Yeah. So you have to intentionally choose to pull up your willpower to get through those monotony things, to get through those mundane things that don't seem important at the time. Yeah. But if you don't do them, you're falling, right?
Yeah. And it's so funny that you say that, because the little things that we skip over now are all of the things that the 1% consistently did.
Mm-hmm.
And the 99% won't do.
Yeah. Boom. Mic drop right there, girl.
The 1% get to the 1% because they're willing to do what the other 99% are not. We did a whole thing recently. It might even been in the podcast for this last week. It's getting ready to air. But I talk about how that everyone wants to know how you get that huge growth curve. How do you get that explosiveness? And it's the day after day after day of doing the same thing. And there's a quote that I've shared often, but I'm going to paraphrase it because I'm totally going to mess it up. But basically, never look at somebody in where they're at in life or business and assume you know where they've come from, because you haven't seen all that's been behind the scenes that leads up to their success.
1,000,000,000%. And I've seen that within my own eyes, within my own brother's company, and hearing people go, oh my gosh, he just shot out like a rocket. I'm like, he's been working on this for a decade. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But people don't see that, because it's that put your head down and just go, 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 go. And it isn't until all the glitz and glam all of a sudden start shining that people will pay attention. So you might think people know what you're doing or paying attention, but they really probably aren't.
Even in our own families, I noticed that even in my own immediate family, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like, what are you doing? They don't, because it's not in their most important persistent thing, right? It's not in their lane. And so people just don't see that. And so I think that what we're trying to say, encapsulated and wrapped up in a nice, pretty bow, is, first of all, don't let analysis paralysis get you. Move forward. Get your willpower, crank it up, drink a cup of coffee, make a decision, put on some loud music, whatever your thing is to get you moving, but make your willpower kick in so that you can move forward. And then you move forward.
Yeah. Persistently and consistently. If you can have put those two words somewhere above your computer, somewhere that you're looking. And if you can be persistent and you can be consistent, you will be successful. You will, but you just have to keep going, right? You just got to keep doing it.
It's the tortoise and the hare, right? It's everyone's looking for that great out the gate. And then it's like they shoot up like a firework and then they fizzle out and people are like, what happened to them? Yeah. A year later, they're not doing the same thing or in the same business. And then it's The tortoise is still going. He's still going. And he gets to his place. Maybe it's a little bit slower, but boy, he has really, really moved his business forward. So
Yeah.
we hope that you guys have enjoyed this all about being persistent and winning. We know that you guys are winners, and we would love to hear how you are going to implement this into your business and what areas that you need to be persistent in, and
Yes.
to work on your willpower, where your strengths are, and stop avoiding all the things.
Bam.
All right, guys. We will see you next week. Same time, same place, same channel. And we hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week. Bye, friends.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Legacy Boss podcast. Make sure to subscribe anywhere you're listening to podcasts. And if you happen to have iTunes, do us a huge favor and leave us a review of the show. We love to hear your honest feedback, and we love those 5-star reviews if you have found great value. This is the way that we get the word out to the world and people who are waiting to hear this type of awesome content. So pay it forward. Giving a review is how we grow. So copy this link and share it out, and let's have this amazing experience growing together. People need and want to be inspired. So thank you for being a part of the Legacy Boss podcast, and go after your dreams. See you next time.